Sweet. Okay, let me fucking... I should have grabbed the bottle. Hell. Why didn't I think to buy it? Grab a bottle opener. Fuck, okay. Alright, guess we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. Wait a minute. There's a fucking bottle opener on the wall over here. I'm stupid. Oh, fuck. Okay. I just got beer all over myself. I guess that is an appropriate way to start this thing. So, let's just fucking, let's just go. Oh. Yeah. And that's, I don't think it's any good. We'll see how that progresses. Gonna need something done. God, I thought I like came super prepared to do this, but like, I'm not. And it's kind of pissing me off. Alright, we're just gonna use this as a bit of a paint palette type of thing. Just get started. Get our brushes wet. Bring a cup over here. And just fucking start doing something. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to drink that. Let me grab something a little more, tad bit more my speed. Uh, Let's go with Berkus. Smaller. Can the camera? Yeah, I think the camera can see what I'm doing relatively. Not that I care too much, I'm just trying to destroy this thing with paint. Bitch. Come on. That is what we want. probably move this thing closer so I can see the fucking chat. Or probably move the laptop closer. That's probably a better idea. Love the 8-bit. Thanks. It's just a random playlist I put on. I would put on like actual music, but I don't want to get like absolutely. I don't want this to end up being like blocked or anything like that. So I just kind of keep it somewhat like not necessarily public domain, but you know, maybe a bit more copyright. I don't know. Less fucky on the copyright situation, I guess. Turn this down just a tad bit because I get a feeling it might be a little bit loud. Ugh, fuck. What is going up? What's going on, Shay? enjoying a hot ass fuck night playing some Titanfall. Hey, right on. It's fucking hot in here. Trust me, I don't have anything, I don't have any fans going or anything. All I got is me, my laptop, phone, and, you know, uh, and my paint. And whatever the fuck I'm, painting on. Whatever it may be, because I don't fucking paint on canvas, because canvas is expensive. Any good horror movies coming out this year or next year? Uh, I know there's something that's supposed to come out next month that I'm like interested in, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it is. Um, there's only like there's honestly like no movies off the top of my head that are coming out this year that I'm really excited for. Next year, I think we're gonna get a couple of interesting ones. I know that the like remake of Candyman got pushed to next year, which was supposed to release this year, which is unfortunate, but you know, that's just kind of how it is right now, unfortunately. And I think that's like one of the only ones. Yeah, Antlers is definitely one that I'm looking forward to. That's supposed to come out next year. I remember when that was supposed. I remember when that was supposed to release this year, and I was like really interested in it because I know the director did. What was it Black Mass, the Johnny Depp film about Whitey Bulger that was really really good. Um, and definitely think I definitely think that Johnny Depp got snubbed for an Oscar on that one. Trying to. Candyman looks awesome. Shame it was pushed to next year. Yeah, no, I mean, that's just how it is. I know my friends are really excited to see it. I'm excited to see it because the original is a classic. I'm always willing to give, remakes a fair shake, especially if it doesn't look like it's going to be um, too corporate or too cookie cutter with it. My friends are looking forward to it because, at least my friends who've seen the original Candyman didn't like it, which I think is really weird to not like that movie because that movie's kind of, a classic. But, everybody's got an opinion, although their opinion is wrong. But genuinely, they're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, Honestly, I'm looking forward to anything being released because there really hasn't been much that's been released this year. I mean, there's been some good releases so far. My best of the year list currently has a decent number of titles on it. How can you not like Candyman? Exactly. Well, one of my friends just did not like it. Like, I tried to ask him why he didn't like it, and he just said he didn't, which I do not understand how he didn't like it. Maybe I was hyping it up too much for him. But honestly, I rewatched it very recently, and it holds up very well. But there haven't been too many like major releases this year that have really blown me away. There's been a couple like surprising releases this year, like Spiral, which hit Shudder this month. And not Shudder, but Spiral was a really good one. I really liked that movie. It's an interesting, entry into the like gay LGBT horror canon. It's not perfect entry into the canon, but it's a welcome one. And I can understand not liking, Candyman if you're mainly into like, if you're expecting something like Nightmare on Elm Street out of it. But like, my friend who watched it and wasn't a fan, he was like straight up. He's somebody who I recommend, movies to randomly because I know he likes movies. Like, he didn't see The Thing until, he became friends with me because he didn't like to watch horror films when he was and younger and when he was a teenager. And then he became friends with me in high school, and I got him to watch The Thing and he absolutely loved it, and he was like, "How have I never seen this before?" And I'm like, "I told you, man, the horror genre is amazing." Um, so maybe, but like I can understand like if you're used to like regular horror films, maybe, but like he's used to all kinds of horror films. I've exposed that motherfucker any to a lot of different types of horror films. I mean, hell, one of the first times we ever hung out outside of school, I showed him Pink Flamingos, um, Return of the Living Dead, Ichi the Killer, uh, a Serbian film, and I think like the Toxic Avenger, all the same night, and he was thoroughly entertained the entire time. So it's kind of so I mean I've shown him quite a bit, so I feel like he can appreciate different kinds of movies, but he also saw eventually finally got around to seeing Brian De Palma's adaptation of Carrie this year, and he told me that he hated it. He thought it was boring and that the acting was awful. And to be fair, like the acting in the movie isn't fantastic, but there's some really great performances in there. I think Sissy Spacek is really great, as well as the actress who portrays Carrie's mother. I really don't think that movie is like anywhere near boring or uninteresting, but he found it to be boring. I was like, "Are you sure you did not watch the remake?" And he told me no. I made sure it wasn't the remake. I'm like, "All right." Gotta put my fucking thing on here. Oh yeah, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Oh my god. I remember I tried to watch that one as a kid and I hated it. Um, I was just like, how is this scary? And that was before I kind of realized it was supposed to be a joke, a parody of like slashers. So, or not of slashers, but horror films. And I ended up seeing the sequel not long after that. I really liked the sequel. But the original, it took me a while to finally to appreciate. But I've always really liked the Killer Tomato movies. The first one's like absolutely classic. Second one I like a bit more. And it's actually hard to get the third and fourth sequels. I've seen the third and fourth one. Third one is, from what I remember, not too amazing. It's got some moments. I think the opening scene to the third one is really good because it's like a woman running through the woods from like a Jason Voorhees like hockey mask type killer, and she turns around and it's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were a killer tomato," and then there's a bunch of killer tomatoes behind her in little hockey masks with like chainsaws by their sides, which is just such a great like gag. I haven't seen the third or fourth one since I was very young, but I remember liking the third one. Fourth one, I can't say too much about, but I think it's amazing that the series has gone that far. Because like it's a dumb series, but like you know, I think it's something that a lot of people can appreciate. Um, like what was it? uh, are the worst, but for some reason I like them. No, they're enjoyable. I remember, I can't remember what it was exactly, but like not too long ago, when it was exactly, but not too long ago, I remember I walked downstairs at the middle of the night. I was like, grabbing something to drink, and my younger sister um, is watching something on TV, and I don't even like have to look at the screen. I hear like a bit of audio, and I'm like, "That's Return of the Killer Tomatoes." And I walk down there, and it's Return of the Killer Tomatoes, and I'm like, "You're watching fucking Return of the Killer Tomatoes?" She's like, "Yeah, this is a good movie. Remember we watched it when we were young?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I did." Like kind of force my younger sister to watch it with me, and she actually kind of liked it. Uh, my family is like, one of those ones where it's like they don't get my tastes, but then they'll find a movie that like, we both kind of enjoy, and it becomes, a bit of a joke, inside joke. It's the kind of movies to give a perspective of just how simple an idea can go a long way. Pretty much every Troma film. Yeah, no, I mean, like the original Toxic Avenger is like a super, super simple like idea, and it's just that stretched out into 4 movies somehow, which I think is absolutely amazing that it's lasted that long. And even a 5th movie, which is like, been kind of in production hell for a while. Let me get a good. I don't want to ruin this, but like, kind of want to. Like, it's nothing amazing, but it's literally the top to like a plastic fucking table that I was just like, you know what? I use it as like my fucking nightstand. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna paint that, and that's exactly what I did with it. You fucking set this somewhere where it's not gonna get ruined. Oh God, no! I couldn't imagine being shown Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the age of 4. Like things scared me when I was younger, but that's kind of part of like why I'm who I am. If you've seen my recent video on like movies I saw as a kid that I shouldn't have, I talk about how like there are plenty of movies like that I just randomly watched when I was younger that I probably shouldn't have, and you know. There were some in there, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, that I definitely shouldn't have seen so young. But still. Oh yeah, it scared the shit out of me. No, I mean, I don't doubt it. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't think it's like absolutely amazing. I do think it's a classic. It definitely deserves its place in history, in the history of filmmaking and, horror filmmaking and everything like that. But I'm not the biggest fan personally. But I do get like why it's popular. I just kind of don't personally experience the terror that everybody else seemed to experience with it. Because everybody I've talked to about it is like, oh yeah, I saw it really young, or I saw it when I was a teenager and it just absolutely blew me away. Meanwhile, I'm just like, yeah, I saw it when I was 15 and I was kind of bored by it, to be honest. And at that point, I had already seen stuff like Blood Feast. They lost the luster after the new generation. I, unironically, adore Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. I own that on Blu-ray. It's the, up until recently, when I upgraded my copies of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 and 2, it was the only Texas Chainsaw Massacre film I owned on Blu-ray. I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. It's so fucking good. Like, I adore that movie. Like, I get that people hate it, and everything, but I love that movie. I also think it's like, like I experienced Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation the way that I think people experience like the original. Because, like, The Next Generation, for me, is a movie that's, like, really darkly comedic and enjoyable because it's, like, just so weird and out there. But simultaneously, it's, like, really, really unpleasant and kind of disturbing. Like, when you, like, look at it from a serious angle, if you take, like, the kind of almost tongue-in-cheek self-parody nature of it, like, out of the equation, because they had already done that in the second film, and you look at this as like a post-ironic, like art piece almost. It's pretty unpleasant. It's not a fun one, but I really like it. I experienced that one the way people seem to have experienced the original, because I think that one is like really, really disturbing and visceral and just surreal and nightmarish. I always hear people describe like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre as it's like watching a nightmare. But for me, like when I have nightmares, my nightmares often aren't like just straight up absolutely horrifying. They're horrifying in the moment, but anytime after that, like as soon as I wake up, I think to myself, man, that wasn't scary at all. That was actually really fucking stupid. That was goofy. If I were looking at it from an outside perspective, aka the perspective of being awake, I would have laughed about the situation I was in my nightmare. But in the moment, it was scary, and that's kind of what I think about when I think of movies that are, nightmares on film. Is I think of a film that is like equally goofy and ridiculous and comedic, and it's also like really, really horrifying and uncomfortable and just not pleasant. And that's why I think the fourth and the second Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies are like the best ones, because those match that mix of like surrealism, comedy, nightmare fuel, viscera, gore, kind of, you know, um, it's just unfiltered terror combined with viscera, surrealism, and humor, and kind of ironic self-deprecation that really just makes it shine out. The only movie that kind of freaked me out was the Animatrix. I haven't seen the Animatrix. I'm not a big fan of the Matrix films. I've kind of wanted to see the Animatrix because I know it's just like an animated anthology of like, Matrix-inspired stories, and I know there's one in there that's made by Peter Chung, I believe, who is responsible for Aeon Flux, and Aeon Flux is fucking, ugh, is it fucking rough. They were way overblown and long-winded. Exactly, like, you know, I saw the first one. I was like, yeah, that was kind of entertaining. I don't know if I'm a fan of that personally. Anything by Peter Chung is creepy. Yeah, no, I mean everything I've seen by him. I haven't seen like all of Anflux. I haven't seen um, that other one he did that aired on like Adult Swim. But like what I've seen of his work is really uncomfortable. I know he worked in like the animation department for Rugrats, which I think is wild. But like looking at how some of the animation in Rugrats kind of flowed, I completely get why. I completely see how he was involved. Let me just a second here. I actually want to do something. Uh, fucking hot. Yeah, Reign the Conqueror. The Conqueror, that's the one. Um, I was really tempted to say like Bert the Conqueror because I was thinking like the Conqueror, because I know that that was like a thing that aired on the Travel Channel, but I was like, I don't think that that show about a fat guy riding roller coasters was the one that Peter Chung did. Nope, there we go. There's the battle theme from Sweet Home. Love that game. Did you ever see the movie? Yeah, I actually saw the movie. I think a little bit before I finished the game. I saw it after starting playing the game last year. The movie's cool. You know, it's not amazing. I would like to see it get like a nice, like release from like Arrow Video or something like that. Because while it's not perfect, I do think it should be able to find an audience outside of its home country. Uh, you know, it's if anything, and I'm only saying this because like it's the only other like Japanese haunted house film from a similar era that I can compare it to. It's like Houseu, but serious is the best way I can like describe it. But I really loved the game. Like the game is amazing. Definitely one of my favorite video games of all time. Like randomly found out about that and was like, okay, well, time to give this a shot. And I'm happy I did. It was a little archaic, as older RPGs can be. Right now, I'm making my way through Mother 3, the sequel to Earthbound. I'm making my way through an English fan translation of that one. And it's good. It's good so far. I don't like it as much as Earthbound, but uh, it's definitely a less archaic and just and also a lot darker. Like goddamn, I played like it for like 2 hours when as soon as I started. Like the night I started playing, I played it for like 2 hours straight, and I was like, goddamn, I want to fucking cry. This is destroying me. Like, it's Mother 3 is kind of rough. I just don't have the patience for a lot of video games these days, so it's just like, I have to find something that I can like play without thinking super hard, but that I can also, pay a little bit of attention to. And I think that like Mother slash Earthbound is like a great one for that because like you can not pay much attention to it and just like be on your phone for a lot of it. You know, you just kind of zone out for a bit. It doesn't require too much immediate attention and reaction time. Uh, but you know, it's still an engaging like game. Why has the music stopped? Am I going to have to walk over there? Probably. Ah, goddamn it. I still have to finish Earthbound. Earthbound is so good. Video pause. Continue watching. Yes. Why would I want to fucking stop? Yeah, let's go some Splatterhouse. Earthbound is fucking great. Like, I remember when I started, like, I tried to play it, like, a few times throughout my life. And then I eventually decided just one day to be like, this is what I'm gonna play. I'm gonna try to focus on this, you know, anytime I have the free time to play video games. And, you know, it took me a little bit. It took me like, it took me some time and looking at a couple of guides on how to do things, but I eventually got through it. It took me 3 hours of trial and error to get to and beat Gygus, but that is one of my crowning achievements as, somebody who is not like, I wouldn't call myself like a big, I wouldn't call myself a gamer or anything like that. I wouldn't say it's something that I do a lot, but like, it's definitely one of those games that I really enjoy playing. I really had a lot of fun with. I definitely think that, more people should play it. Not that Earthbound is inherently underrated, because it is extremely well known among, specific communities. But, I think, like, in general, I think people should play Earthbound and give it a shot. Because there are people I know who are like, oh yeah, I grew up playing Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy VII was like the big game for me, the big RPG that got me into the genre, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, no, that's cool, but like, Earthbound is better. I say that as somebody who's never even fucking touched a Final Fantasy game. That's a joke. Well, not the never touched Final Fantasy game, but that it's better than Earthbound. That's a joke. But Earthbound is just easier to digest. It's not necessarily a simple game, but it doesn't require a lot of doesn't require a lot of time. Have I even taken the... No, I have not taken the cap on this one. This is a fresh one. Just gonna throw that in the water. Good morning. I kind of forgot that it was past midnight. Well, at least, past midnight in my time zone. That's what happens when you have insomnia and you stay up late and you waste time doing other shit instead of sleeping or doing things to better yourself. You know what they say, that's life. 7:30 a.m. in Europe. Yeah, no, I mean, again, I didn't want to assume time zones, but it is morning. Very, 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 very early morning for us here in the States. All right, let me grab something that's a little, has a little less hops, a little less yeast in it. Get something a little more fruity, a little more girly, a little more my speed. Not that my speed, not that I can't, enjoy a beer. I've had 2 beers tonight, but we're gonna have something a little less. Jeez, there are actually 6 people watching this garbage. That's a little more tolerable. I don't know how. I really enjoy your videos, man. Do you plan on doing some video essays again? Like picking a certain content, picking certain stuff in one longer vid? Yeah, I actually realized recently that I have not done a proper video essay and or analysis type video in over a year. I recently noticed that I haven't done one in a while, and I was like, oh, I should probably do one. And that has me. I'm brainstorming ideas right now. I'm working on a lot of stuff right now. Not necessarily stuff exactly for the channel, but I am trying to get some stuff for the channel going. I'm working on something for outside. Well, I'll probably end up uploading it onto the channel, but for now it's an outside project that's going to be a documentary. Not that I'm in the middle of shooting it or anything, but that's in the very, very, very early stages right now. So it's not gonna be uploaded anytime soon. But I'm thinking about maybe doing a maybe an essay. Hopefully this year. I can't guarantee anything. My brain is like dying, um, very, very slowly this year. It's been doing nothing but that, so I've been kind of distracted this year by, excuse me, by outside sources. But I still plan on doing something eventually. I plan on returning to it eventually. Trust me, if it weren't for like everything that's happened this year, I would have probably uploaded at least one video essay by now, but because of COVID amongst other things, it's amongst a lot of other stuff which is more personal. It's been a hell of a year, so it's been a bit harder. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. I've been thinking. As for topics I do them on, I've been considering doing one on uh, this very base idea that I've had. I considered kind of talking about just in general for a while, and it's the idea of otherworldly cinema, which I have a list for on Letterboxd. Um, but basically movies that feel like they're from another dimension, another plane of existence. Movies that are like so ever so slightly off, or they're just so off their rocker that they feel like they may have been made by aliens and sent to Earth, or something like that. You know, I'm thinking about doing something about that. I'm thinking about maybe this year for the Christmas special doing, I don't know, maybe something on the Black Christmas remake that came out last year, because I wrote a very negative review for that one on my Letterboxd, and I've been thinking about doing an essay on that because I don't have a lot to say about that one, but I do have a bit to say about it because it's egregious. It's an abomination. Trust me on that one. If you have not seen 2019 Black Christmas, yeah, I think that that's gonna be it for tonight, guys. Think I'm done. Uh, kind of have nothing else to work on from here. I mainly wanted to get a couple pieces that I wanted to get some paint on, taken care of, and I figured I may as well produce some content while I'm at it. So that's actually gonna be it for now, at least. I think. If I can think of anything else, I don't have anything that I need to work on that's immediately in front of me. So I think I'm just gonna cut it off here. But anybody who stuck around and watched, asked questions, sent messages, even though it was only like 2 people, I appreciate it. Anybody who actually sat and watched me fucking, just kind of stand here and paint random garbage for even a few minutes, I appreciate it. This is the fucking second finished piece, which I think says a lot about me and my personality. For those of you who are wondering, this is ham water on deli paper on canvas with paint and hot glue. The finished piece. Well, the second finished piece. all of my fucking paintings I've done on stream just are variations of the words "kill me." Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I'm feeling a little worn out. So yeah, I'm gonna take my leave. But anyway, guys, this is Biscuit Boo Horror Reviews. I just realized I have fucking paint on my face. Signing off. Peace. Where's the fucking off button? There it is.